I'm tired of fearing the excuses.
We work, 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 work. We work, 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 work.
We've got to work it out. I'm tired of fearing the excuses. Your word don't mean nothing, it's useless. We've got to work it out. I'm tired of fearing the excuses. Your word don't mean nothing, it's useless. But work it out. And I don't really know where we're going. I just don't understand what I'm feeling. You still gotta treat me right. You're making me work for it. We've got to work it out. I'm tired of fearing the excuses. Your word don't mean nothing, it's useless. But we've got to work it out. I'm tired of fearing the excuses. Your word don't mean nothing, it's useless.
We work.
And I don't really know where we're going. I just don't understand what I'm feeling. You still gotta treat me right. You're making me work for it. We've got to work it out. I'm tired of fearing the excuses. Your word don't mean nothing, it's useless. But we've got to work it out. I'm tired of fearing the excuses. Your word don't mean nothing, it's useless.
We work. Work, 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 work. We work. We work.
All right. Hey, good morning. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Lainhart here on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, here in the Pacific Northwest of Seattle, Washington. How are you doing this morning or this afternoon or this evening? Thanks for joining me here today. I'm going to share with you today's message about taking pain and turning pain into purpose. It's my next article that I'm working on right now for my newsletter, which I've been very tardy on getting out. I'm working on that right now. And I want to share some tips with you to how to take pain, because I'm sure just like me, you have experienced pain, whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain, spiritual pain. And how do we take that pain and bundle that up and turn it into something that gives us purpose, that gives us passion, that gives us pleasure? I guess we take the pain and shift it to the pleasure format as well. So let me get over to the page. Hope that you are all doing well. Thanks for being here. Good morning to my team, my moderators. We just ask that if you come into this community on Fridays, that we keep the comments positive, upbeat, inspiring, encouraging, motivating. We can agree to disagree. We can always come from a place of civility and respect and different perspectives. Just because you don't see eye to eye with me doesn't mean that I'm right and you're wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong. It's just really, Friday's laying out topics and information that might help you on your journey to find the diamond within, to find the diamonds that are all around us, what is seen and what is unseen. There's a lot of things that are unseen, if you will. Here's an example. I just was working on, as I was working on my my next article, about taking your pain and moving that into purpose for life. And a lot of times you'll hear them say, "Oh, I don't believe in anything I can't see." Right? We have to see it here. And I always say we have three eyes in life: two to look, one to see. And there's a lot of things out there that we do not see with the physical eye, as far as what's refracted with the colors and the light that comes into our corneal that then processes the image into our brain. And, our thoughts. Do you actually see your thoughts? No. But we know that we have our thoughts, right? Do you see the wind? We can see the effects of the wind, but we don't actually see the wind with our physical eye. Did you see my breath coming out? Did you see the carbon dioxide coming out of my lungs? No, but we know that we have to have air, right, to breathe. We know that there are photons. We know that there is gravity. If you don't believe me and the theory and the hypothesis of gravity, go jump off a diving board, hopefully into a pool, and you will find that you will go down, right? If I was to stand up and just take all of my thought away and just drop, gravity's going to tell me that I'm going to go down. That's gravity, but yet we don't see it, right? Molecules, lots of molecules going around. Wi-Fi, how I'm connecting with you today via Wi-Fi. We don't see the Wi-Fi. We don't see atoms. We don't see radio signals. We don't see electricity. We don't see time. I mean, we can see time here, right? Because this is a construct made by mankind to measure our days, right? 24 hours in a day. I actually was reading an article that the moon is getting farther away and that we may in the future actually go to 25 hours in days, right? Because, we have the gravitational pull of the moon, right? That's another thing we don't see, the gravitational pull of the moon. If the moon wasn't where it was and existed, we would not have tides and currents and rip curls and big giant waves on our planet. Most of the water would just lay flat. But we know if you've ever been in the ocean or been hit by a wave or been in a big wave like I have, that's pretty powerful stuff. You can feel it, but you just don't see it. So there's a lot of things out there that you will hear people say all the time is, oh, I don't believe in anything I can't see. Religion is a lot of you can't see into the past. You may see the past through a history book or scripture or a Bible or depending on where you're at in the world, but you don't actually get to go participate. So you have to trust that what you're seeing and reading is true, right? And we know that our history is not very accurate, is not very, if I was to give a rating to our history, I'd probably give it probably in the low 30s, maybe the low 40s percentile. It'd definitely be an F for, tracking, because before written time, everything was verbally communicated based on storytelling. And even with written times, we know that books, including the Bible, have been edited. So going back and trusting in your past, and saying, oh, I have faith, I can't see it, but I'll believe it, right? It's kind of a oxymoron, if you will, but you a lot of times you see, people say, I don't believe in anything I can't see. And on Fridays, the metaphysical approach, because I take the spiritual approach, the scientific approach, and the metaphysical approach, and I combine them to make this metaphysical meetup with Marc Live, to give you perspectives and different angles, right? We all sit at the same table of life, right? We just, just sitting at a different part of that perspective of the table. And, it's just a reminder that just because we don't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. 3 eyes in life, like I said, 2 to look, 1 to see. And I hope that you're opening this third eye, because this third eye is very transformative. It's, why do we call it the third eye? I'm going to be doing a class this fall on the pineal gland, studies that I've learned both here in the United States and over abroad in England in my studies. And the pineal gland is quite fascinating. The reason we call it the third eye is because it has the same makeup. It's almond shaped. It sits right here in the brain, uses a lot of blood flow from the heart. It's surrounded in a liquid, and it actually takes energy and fluids in. It's actually surrounded in a fluid, and it's got little cilia hairs that actually stick off of the gland. And what you can do is you can use the ancient breath of prana, energy, frequency, and bring that up through your spine and your auric field and your chakras, if you will, to where those little cilia can cling on to those energies and frequency and create an actual frequency within inside your brain that we call the auric field, that expands consciousness, which expands healing, which expands transformation. And so from an anatomy and physiology standpoint, very ancient, nothing new. It's quite interesting how the pineal gland can work if you're open to that, right? You have to have that free will and choice of openness to seek something bigger than yourself. And it was funny because I was watching my mother-in-law's with us this week, staying with us, and I was talking with her. We were watching Ancient Aliens, and we were talking about just beliefs. And a lot of people, until they see it, they're not going to believe it. But there's a whole world out there that don't take my word, take it. So science, the microscope, the telescope, the James Webb, the Hubble. There's so many instruments that we are realizing just how much we don't know, right? Science has only proved about 4% mathematically. That's not a hypothesis or a theory or an opinion. It's proved by math, and that's only about 4%. So that means there's 96% that we still have not discovered based on the scientific method. And when you realize that, the world becomes a lot more fascinating. Now, I know there's a lot going on in our world. The world has always been full of chaos, full of war, full of murder. I do a lot of my work, a lot of my writings, a lot of my articles, my book is based on my perspective because I've experienced a lot of what the world has to offer. And really, if you want to go to that negative side of the house, it doesn't have anything to offer you in that aspect. I know the loss of losing family members and friends and fur babies and the grieving. But what I'm more curious about, and that's where the intuitive prospector comes into light, is I'm more curious about the things we have yet discovered, the things that we were prospecting for in life, including my own mortality, my own journey, and the many gems that are out in this amazing world of ours that we just have not yet discovered. And so while we were watching Ancient Aliens, there's a part that, and I don't know if you know this, but I didn't know this, but I'll share with you before I get into my topic, which is about taking pain and turning that into purpose. There's a part on the planet. Most of the time when you see the planet, you always see it with the land masses, right? And the planet is covered in 70% of water. So what we don't see is behind, it's kind of like seeing behind the moon, right? We don't see the dark side of the moon. We always see the one side of the moon, but very rarely until just recently when China just launched their probe on the backside of the moon, we're getting, first images of the dark side of the moon, what Pink Floyd we wrote about, right? The dark side of the moon. And I know our astronauts went behind the moon when they would slingshot when we were back in the 60s, exploring the moon, and we're going back next year. But it's the same thing with the planet. There's the backside of the planet, which is the Pacific Ocean, which is bigger than all the land masses combined. And there's a part in the center of the ocean called Nemo, the Nemo Reef or the Nemo Island. I don't know if it's even an island. It might just be a point in the ocean called the Nemo spot, like Finding Nemo. And from each side of that, in any direction, it's about 2,600 nautical miles to the next landmass. And so at some point, the closest people to this part of the Earth and the ocean and this Nemo point are the actual space station, the astronauts up on the International Space Station. They're actually closer based in space than anybody on landmass. So there's parts of our planet that we just don't know. The depths, it ranges from 7% to 10 to 15% of what's been discovered, what's been tracked in sonar and all that. But there's just parts of our own planet that we just have yet to discover, deep down in the Earth, deep down in the oceans, not including what's out there in outer space. So there's just a lot of mysteries, mysticism, unknowns, phenomenon, that we are here in life to explore and to discover and to dream and to connect with. And as my term is, to prospect, to find the diamonds that are in life, if that's what you're looking for. But how did I get to this point? And so I'm writing an article about how we can take our pain and transform that into not only purpose, but passions, right? You can get my latest article that's now out right here at marclainhart.com if you want to go to marclainhart.com, or you can go over to Best American Psychics. That's my latest blog. And that article is about one of the podcasts I did recently about the spiritual journey and exploring the depths of the soul. That article will be up on my website here when I have time to upload it at marclainhart.com. But I have all my articles over there because eventually my articles will become another book is what I'm working on. But this article that I'm working on right now, it's something I came to from a lot of times I get my influences and my inspirations, whether it's an article or this show or my next podcast, which will be back on the air. Inspired Living will be back. We took a little bit of a midsummer break with our guests, but we have a great guest coming back next Wednesday. Or not coming back, first time guest. And then we have 2 more guests scheduled for August and into September. And a lot of times I get my inspirations based off of what I see in my reality. Is art imitating life or is life imitating art? Is this the Matrix? Is this a reality? But a lot of my things that I see will come through a documentary, through a movie, through a book that I'm reading, through my meditations and sitting on the mat and just downloading information. And one of the things that I felt that I was supposed to talk about today was how to take pain and turn it into purpose. And, because years ago when I was 27, I went through a tremendous amount of pain. And I actually refer to it and write about it today called the TNT, the traumas and the tragedies that literally blew up my life as I knew it and understood it. And my learned behaviors, my religious, indoctrination, my religious beliefs, all got upended. All just, somebody just pulled the rug out from underneath me. And if you follow my work, you know the story. You can go to my website and read more about it. Loss of my brothers, lost my father-in-law, my own near-death experience, which really opened me up to choose through free will and choice to explore. And that's where the intuitive prospector concept actually was born out. And understanding that, and the pain that I've been in the last few months, I literally have been through the emotional pain, the spiritual pain of transformation, the physical pain of having a very serious surgery. My spine collapsed at the very base of my spine. My L4, L5 completely collapsed on itself. So I was bone on bone. Nerve root was pinched, was in pain for a lot of months. Probably should have had the surgery 3 or 4 years ago per the surgeon. Well, we got that done. I got a 1/2-inch spacer put in, 4 screws, 2 brackets, all titanium, 3D printed in my back now. But the months of rehabilitation and recovery is that physical pain to the body, but also the transformative pain of taking that pain and harnessing that, because it ended my federal career after 23 years, and now I'm semi-retired. Just got a small win on that, so I got some good news this week. So that was nice to hear, based on my retirement and based on my medical documentation, which we've been working on since March of this year, and something I went through all last year. So that pain is, okay, how do I take that pain? How do I move that to not something that's negative? Because we all have experienced pain, right? Life is a journey of pain, whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain. I think people always ask me who my hero is, and I think it would surprise some people. But my hero is my older brother, who's in spirit. His youngest daughter, Sarah. She was born with severe cerebral palsy, and anytime that I'm feeling down on myself or self-sabotage, or like the ego loves to do that, right? The ego loves to get into your mind and take you down that rabbit hole of dysfunction and negativity and self-sabotage. But I think of my niece Sarah, who has not had the capability to ever walk in her life, has never really had the ability to speak, but she can speak through technology, right? She has a wheelchair, she has a computer board. And so technology is showing us, people, even with people with disabilities, because now I'm considered a person with a disability because of my back. It's how do you take that pain and turn it into purpose? And the one thing that always makes me smile is every time I see Sarah, and I wish I would see her more, she always has a smile on her face. She always will smile and greet me and welcome me and be so excited. And I'm just like, man, here I am feeling sorry about myself. And here's this young lady who has had over probably 200 surgeries, who's never walked, whose body is, if you don't know cerebral palsy, it's like the equivalent of having gravity 10 to 20 to 30 times more on your body mass than what you feel just with basic gravity, right? That's what cerebral palsy is. And she was born with this, and that's what she's known her whole life this time around. So I imagine her next life will be very, the ability to do things that we take for granted, right? Your health is your true wealth. But when you start to approach your own pain, whatever pain you're in going through right now, and I'm sure some of you watching, joining me today are experiencing real-time pain, and I'll hold space for you, because that's one thing that we can do. I'm sorry, I'm getting over to the Intuitive Prospector page so I can give some shout outs to my Patreon prospectors, to my Diamonds Hub subscribers. Again, if you want to subscribe and get into more depth with me, readings, Q&A, lectures, workshops, then you're going to want to go right here and get into the Patreon prospectors subscription page, or the Diamonds Hub here on Facebook. That one's $4.99 a month. So it's a great way to get extra spiritual, metaphysical, healing, transformative content if that's what you're interested in. If not, no worries. You can also follow me over on TikTok. I just went over 8,000 followers, so thank you for the followers. And over on YouTube, which we are now almost at 21,000 prospectors that are joining me in this concept of life and taking pain and turning it into purpose. But transforming pain into purpose, I have found, can be a profound journey. Okay. So I came up with some tips to help guide you through this process. And, right now we're in Mercury retrograde until August something. I know it started on the 4th, so last Sunday, and it goes usually for a couple weeks. So right now you may find yourself in a very tight spot, very just feeling frustrated or feeling not connected. Remember, your material world has a direct impact on you, your physical, your energy, your auric, your thoughts. So just give yourself grace, be patient with yourself. We're in very interesting times. Not surprising. I'm not surprised on what we're going through, whether it's building up to another world war or a civil war or political violence or just more chaos, right? That doesn't surprise me. The thing that enhances this is our social media presence, the news cycle that that never ends, right? 24/7, 365. Unplug from that stuff. Social media they're going to show out in the future how dysfunctional and negative social media can be. That's why when I come on, I try to use my social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, my podcast, Inspired Living, to use that to promote positivity, to promote that positive ripple effect into the world, whether it's now in the present moment or somebody in the future catches an episode, right? So that's really where I'm focused on using social media, because we're going to learn in our roaring 20s of transformation that I've written about, podcasted about, and forecasted about how transformative this decade is going to be, from technology to medicine to communications, to learning that we're not alone in the universe, to AI, to robotics. It's going to transform the consciousness of humankind. But through that, there's going to be a lot of chaos because we're trying to evolve through our technology, right? And with the technology of social media today, it's pretty painful to watch some of these stories that come through. It's pretty painful to watch some of the ignorance that can flow through, the cognitive dissonance, the misinformation, the disinformation. It's just, not surprisingly, but my hope is that we can evolve through that, because that's how species either evolve or devolve, and a lot of it's based on their technology. But as far as transforming your pain that you may be feeling today, again, there's many aspects of pain, not just one: physical, emotional, mental, material, spiritual, the PEMS of what I teach on, the PEMMS, physical, emotional, mental, material, spiritual, because the material can be painful too, right? Maybe your rent is due, or maybe you can't put food on the table because the inflation is so high, and again, people are going to go the politics of that. And I'm like, there's just so much more going on. If you see the bigger picture, you realize how small politics they are, and what a circus full of clowns it is, right? But if you start to open and really surrender to know thyself, as above, so below, the tree of life, right? And you work on a daily dedication to take your pain and move it to purpose. A lot of times, what I've gone through in my experience is, my mantra was always, this is happening for me, not to me, because my mantra and my mindset keeps it, when it's happening for you, the energy is more positive, the vibration is more uplifting, versus the victim mentality. Oh, it's happening to me. Oh, I'm just not good enough, or my back wasn't strong. You can find every reason under the sun to have it happen to you, versus be the empowered superhero to say, you know what? This is happening for me, and I'm going to embrace change. So when change comes, let it, because that is the only thing consistent in life, is change, right? You may agree with that, you may disagree with that. That's okay. But these are perspectives that I share with you week in and week out here on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Live. So first process into taking your pain and moving it to purpose, and this article will be out later this month, is, like I said, a very profound journey. But the first one is to acknowledge your pain. By acknowledging your pain, you bring into the acceptance. And acceptance and awareness are the greatest agents for change. Eckhart Tolle, if you follow his work, you've read his books, he talks about the present moment. So what you have to do is not move into the past and or the future, because you're here now, right? There's what's the old saying? Wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are, because it's not about the past and it's not about the future. So what you can do for step one to take your pain and put it into purpose is to acknowledge your pain and just say, you know what, I'm in pain. Today, I'm a little bit in back pain. Today, I'm a little bit in mental pain, to say I'm not okay. That's okay to say that and be like, can I seek help? Can I seek guidance? But if you accept your feelings and your experiences without judgment, again, underline, without judgment, Understanding your pain is the first step in healing, awareness, transformation, changing your alchemy, because you're changing your vibration at your cells, your DNA, your mindsets, your thoughts become words. And if you accept that and you acknowledge your pain, step number one, acknowledge your pain. Number two, reflect and write. I do this a lot. I take the time to disconnect so I can find time to reconnect. Just did that this weekend, went to Suncadia, spent time finally being able to hit some golf balls for the first time in months. I haven't been able, I just got released to do that because of my back, which I still need some improvement in my golf game. But, you know, being able to be out in nature, nature's a great connector. I'm a Taurus, so I'm land-based, so anything to do with nature, just, you know, out watering my flowers, stacking up rocks, you know, just anything that connects me to nature, being out in my garden. And this is what I do to reflect. And then through this reflection is where then I write my article. So I have the article just off screen here because I've written it out now. Now I'm going to edit, send it over to Best American Psychics, and they'll publish it out for another article in line with the August, my first article, The Spiritual Journey, Navigating the Depths of the Soul. And you can get that podcast wherever you get your favorite podcasts. That was done a couple weeks ago. But when you reflect and write, journaling can help us articulate our feelings, right? You can take your thoughts, you can put them to paper, and then you can come back after you were feeling that, and you can do whether journal or a lot of chicken scratch. This is like my fourth journal right here. You can reflect and write on that, and it can help you articulate your feelings because, again, you're bringing them out into awareness. You're acknowledging it, you're bringing them out, you're reflecting, you're writing. And when you write about your pain, it means to you how it is affecting your life because it's your life, it's your pain, and my pain is not your pain and vice versa. So it would be hard to, you know, that's what they always say, put yourself in other people's shoes. Identify some of the lessons learned. Look for insights on your lessons that have emerged from your pain. What have I gained from my surgery? One, I'm not in much pain. Two, I'm now back up to 6 foot. I literally lost a half inch, and that half inch spacer, titanium 3D printed spacer that's now on my back, brought my spine back up, and I'm now right at 6 foot. We measured me before and after the surgery. So I'm taller. I'm not as in much pain as I was for the last several years because I didn't know that my spine had collapsed until the surgeon actually got in there. Even the MRI and the x-rays did not show full collapse. It wasn't until only they came in through my hip, opened me up and said, oh man, he's fully collapsed. And they actually had to pound the spacer into the vertebrae space, right? And then secure it. So, you know, I can take and identify the lessons that I've learned. Again, one of them is identifying that your health is your true wealth. Without your health, nothing. You can be the richest person in the world, and your health is declining and deteriorating. It doesn't matter, right? Your whole mindset's going to change. So identify the lessons learned. And I always say that life is an acronym. Learn it from experience and fail daily at life. And what I mean by fail is a good thing. First attempt in learning. We were just talking about this in my spiritual development group about how failure can be a very good thing, and we fail in the present moment, right? So fail often, fail daily. Understanding these can provide you, you know, these lessons learned. Can I help you identify and provide clarity and direction? So a lot of my pain when my brothers and my father-in-law all died, I didn't know which direction to go. It was literally like everything blew up in my life: murder trials, court cases, conviction notices. Working with the state of Washington, victims of violent crimes, multiple sclerosis, brain cancer. I just didn't know how to operate. And at that time, what that does is you have to honor your grief. And I wasn't doing that. And what that can do is stimulate PTSD, depression, anxiety, suicidal ideologies, you know, things that are not great that you want to go down that path. And so I didn't know where to turn. And I didn't understand it until later, the life lessons of that pain that I would now turn into purpose now. For what I do, you know, whether it's writing, podcasting, shows, doing readings with people, doing events, whatever that's going to be, right? So it can help you provide direction and guidance for where you're going. What I did from there is I started to set goals and turn my reflections and turn my my pain into purpose by actionable goals. And what I mean by actionable goals is what do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve as a result of your experiences? Here's a result right here. You know, my first book, it is actually my second book that I'm in. My first book that I'm actually featured in is called Seance. It's a history of seances and in spirituality. And I was interviewed when I was at the Arthur Findlay College before the pandemic. And there's a page, that's a pretty big book. It's a best-selling book. I totally blank on her name, but if you look up seance, totally, I'm sorry, I apologize for the author's name. She interviewed me, and there's a picture of me in this book. So this is actually my second book, but this was an actionable goal that I wanted to contribute to be published because I hadn't been published before. And so that's what I mean by setting goals and sharing my perspectives in an actionable goal to be published. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve as a result of your experiences? And really for me now is it just achieving my experiences is sharing the intuitive prospector concept and my perspectives with you, because someday I will be gone. Someday I will leave this, but death is not the end. Ego always equates, ego wants to say death is the end, but the soul goes, no, I've been here long before the ego. I was long before the physical incarnate flesh suit of matter, and I will continue on after I leave, after my heart stops, right? So that gives me comfort. That gives me more insight that what I'm doing now is leaving a journey, a legacy, or little seeds of planting for those that may be experiencing this pain. And how did Marc take his pain and turn it into passion, turn it into purpose? But again, it's a very profound journey, and it's not easy. So you have to be patient, trust, grace, dedication, discipline, all the things I teach on, things I teach my students. But you set those goals, and when you set clear, attainable goals, right? It's like we were watching Eckhart Tolle, and he asked this young waitress, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And she said, "A brain surgeon." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. That's years and years of study." But what she wants to be and her attainable dedication, not saying that she couldn't, but she's going to have to really set some time. And he goes, "Do you like biology?" And she goes, "Not really." "Do you like anatomy and physiology?" "Not really." Well, those are big concepts that you're going to have to go through to learn to become a brain surgeon. And I've actually sat down and talked with brain surgeons because my brother had 2 brain surgeries. So, and so he said, it's going to be a long struggle because it's not an attainable goal. She's setting out to be something she wants, but she's not going to enjoy being or doing to get to that point because she doesn't like biology or chemistry or physiology and anatomy and all that, which you are going to need to be a brain surgeon, right? So it was very insightful. So, when I say set goals, set clear, attainable goals, it can give you a sense of purpose. It can give you a sense of purpose of why are you here? What's the whole purpose of you being here in this time frame, right? So set goals. So acknowledge your pain, reflect and write, identify lessons learned, set goals, seek support. Seek support, connecting with others who have experienced your pain, loss. A lot of my students in my spiritual development group from all around the country, over in the UK, Canada, they all have similar experiences, whether it's a loss of a child, loss of a loved one, their own near-death experience, just naturally born with gifts of spirituality and psychic and mediumship. But when you seek support, you connect with others and you create that community. And that community can help you grow, heal, transform. But it can also bring, things to you a lot quicker than if you were trying to do it yourself, right? Mentors are really good at identifying. I've had some really great mentors that have helped put me here today, to identify, to mature, if you will. But when you seek support, connecting with others who have had experienced similar pain can be very empowering. I found that to be. I just had my first plant medicine experience personally. And the community that I was in, I didn't know any of these people, and they're very loving, very supporting, and just the connection to the plant medicines that are very ancient and have been around for many, many, many centuries and have been used by people from all walks of life, from all across the globe, and the connections of what you can connect into. And that community was, for me, very transformative, very healing, and very, very empowering. And I'm looking forward to it because I have one in a few weeks that I'm looking forward to. So I'm very excited for the next experience, right? The next diamond that's going to be revealed. So consider joining support groups or online communities. We have the digital transformation. We have the quantum reality where you can connect via Zoom here on Fridays with me, different online spiritual events, churches. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do online now, which just shows you the intelligence and the reach of technology. So, but find a mentor, get into a development group, find ways to connect, because that's going to empower you. It's going to heal you, and it's going to transform you, because you're changing the alchemy, you're changing your auric field, you're changing your thoughts, you're changing your beliefs. And for some of you, you may have to unlearn everything you've learned to be open to really truly find who you are. Right? So channel your energy. It's very important to channel it. Use your pain as a motivation to pursue activities that ignite your purpose, that ignite your passion. This could be art, writing, dancing, singing, volunteering, another creative outlet. This is really what I do For me, it's channeling my energy, channeling my energy to share with you perspectives and give you readings, which we're going to do here in just a few minutes. So good morning to some of you. I'm going to pause there because I have a few more tips to give you. Thanks for joining me this morning. I hope you're doing well. Hi, Tara. Hi, Kira. Good morning, Adriana. Good morning, Kathleen. Good morning to my mom. Good morning, Nancy. Kathy, good morning to you. Carlos, hola, my friend. Hola, mi amigo. Stacy, hello to you. Christine, hello, Karen. Thanks for joining me. Today's message on Meetup, Metaphysical Meetup, is how do we take our pain and move it to passion and purpose? And again, for a very profound change, right? I always talk about the 3 C's in life: make a choice, take a chance, see the change. And I've done a lot of making changes this last year, trust me, including almost over 50 pounds weight loss since my surgery, right? So I may look a little bit thinner and a little bit different because I've literally been transformed in the physical body because of my pain, right? So channeling your energy is very, very important. Practice self-compassion. Hi, Tara. Hi, Victoria. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself grace. We as humans, practice being a human being, right? Human kindness, human compassion, but apply that to yourself. Self-care is so very, very important, y'all. Be kind to yourself during this process is what I'd say. Patience, trust, grace. Very, very important. Understand that healing takes time, and that's okay to feel maybe a sense of loss, a sense of vulnerability, a sense of anxiousness, but give yourself time. Like, for me, example, I got a little bit ahead of my healing. My ego is like, oh, you can do this, get out and do this. No, I couldn't do that. And I have to allow myself the time to heal. The time, again, time, a concept that's not seen. It's seen because we created it, but time has its own journey, right? There's a time of the construct of humankind that humans abide by. And then there's a bigger picture called the time unseen, right? The time of your death, the time of your birth, the time of your transformation, the time of your awakening. So along this journey, this spiritual journey, and again, if you want to get my last article, it's about the spiritual journey and navigating the depths of the soul. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, so I can speak to it. And now I'm giving you tips of how to now take that pain and move it into purpose. So practice self-compassion, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And if you're kind to others, that energy will come back, I promise you. Share your story. We are storytellers by nature as humans. Like I said, before reading and writing, before technology, before coding, before Facebook, before YouTube, we were storytellers. Cultures would tell stories and pass those down to their generations, and your story had to be spot on, right? You couldn't make something. If you ever seen the Book of Mormon, you know what I'm talking about. Right here, my man up pin, man up. When you change the story, the whole narrative changes, and it changes people's ideas and beliefs and perspectives, if you will. So, be a storyteller is what I'm trying to tell you. Consider sharing your experience with others. That's what Metaphysical Meetup with Marc is. It's sharing my experience, my perspectives. I've been on the planet for over 53 plus years now, almost 53. And I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of different educations. I have a lot of different soul adventures, from my Coast Guard days to my firefighting days to my federal days to what I do now. So I have a lot of different perspectives, and I put myself in different environments to share. And that's my way of sharing my stories. Be a storyteller. This can be very therapeutic for you. I find in connecting, and again, there's always going to be people that are going to have their opinions about you, your pundits, your critics, your naysayers, your people that are cynical, but you're not living an authentic life if you're worried about what other people's thoughts are, not living your own, right? Why would you give your energy away to somebody that you barely have any interaction with? And that's where social media has really changed our psychology and our connection for human consciousness, right? Because people are much different behind a keyboard than they are when they're actually face to face with one another, right? Might be a little bit more fakeness when they're face to face versus behind a keyboard. They just let it go, right? And I've seen that. I've seen all aspects. But when you share your story, it can be very therapeutic for you, and it can inspire those who are going through the similar struggles that I've gone through, whether it's death and dying, a near-death experience, and OBE, experiences with extra-dimensional beings, ETs, aliens, whatever you want to call it. This is me sharing my story. And again, you don't have to agree with everything I'm saying because I'm just being a storyteller, and we can agree to disagree, and that's okay too. But we can along the way be kind and compassionate and caring for one another, because at the end of the day, we're all walking each other home, right? Nobody's getting out of this. The same hole you're going to go in, or the same urn you're going to go in, is no different from anybody else, whether you're the richest man or woman on the planet or the poorest man or woman on the planet. The destination is still the same. And when you realize that, your life changes, your thoughts change, your what you do in your daily journey changes. It has tremendously for me, and that's taking your pain and putting that to purpose, right? So share your story, engage in mindfulness. This one's very powerful. This one came to me. Practices like yoga, practices like meditation, which I do daily, practices like qigong, which is your energy, your chi, your life force, which I practice. These are ways for me to engage in mindfulness, even just by the coffee you drink, the H2O that you have to have, bringing the vibration up, taking in a nice deep breath. This is a Sanskrit for breath. These are all ways of engaging in mindfulness. And it can help you stay in the present moment, for one, and not get out ahead of yourself. Future's never guaranteed to anybody. Past can't be changed unless you have a time machine. If you do, please look me up, and somebody said the other day, based on social media, like, and they were digging at me, and I took the comment down, but like, oh, you're so woke. And I was like, wow, okay, I don't know how to take that. Thank you, I guess. I'm woke. I just thought I was really good at learning history and knowing history. It had nothing to do about today's concepts of a negative being woke. I'm just really insightful and experienced with history. I love to read. I read a lot. So it was just interesting, and I took the comment down because, like, old me would have debated, like, what do you mean by being woke? Just Control Alt Delete, like you do on your keyboard. Control Alt Delete with comments like that. I'm just really, interested in history, and history teaches us, to stay in the present moment, and things can really be transformative when you do that. So engage in mindfulness. Know history, because history teaches us, and also, teaches us to things that we repeat and things that we have yet to still learn, right? So, but when you engage in mindfulness, it also changes your choices and your behaviors and how you navigate the day. But it can also reduce anxiety. It can reduce any kind of depression. Being mindfulness can also help you, like I said, stay present, but relate it to the past pain that you may be feeling. So, for example, until I really truly started engaging in mindfulness, I had years and years of survivor's guilt, with both my brothers moving on into the spirit world ahead of me. Every January, I couldn't function in January. And I always would say, if I can get through January, I can get through the rest of the year. And I used January as a crutch, but through guidance and through counseling and through, different things of hypnotherapy and biofeedback. Like I said, I've done a lot of different things, plant medicine. What it did is, no, you were dealing with PTSD of your past events, not addressing and honoring your grief, but also having survivor's guilt, because I always thought it would be me that would move on, not my brothers, because I kind of live a very, don't risk it, no biscuit, right? I'm always pushing the boundaries. And so for me, I thought, oh, okay, I'll go, I won't make it to 40, right? That was always my thought. But yet here I am. So what I'm saying is, engage in that mindfulness, but also wake up every day with the mindfulness of thank you for today, because today is all you have. And it can change on a dime. I've seen it from my days in the Coast Guard, my days as a firefighter, EMT, as a first responder. I went to calls where people's life changed on a dime. And that's what I'm saying about carpe diem, is seize the day, seize the moment, because nothing is guaranteed to anybody. We've done podcasts in the past where I talk about, on an average, every single day around the globe, 50,000 souls do not open their eyes, whether it's through sickness or some sort of, wrong place, wrong time, old age, murdered, war. 50,000, that's probably gone up since I've done the podcast. That podcast was done a couple of years ago. And there's over 8 billion people on the planet now, right? So when you wake up, first thing you should do is say thank you and embrace that mindfulness of your journey for today. And if you're waking up with pain, how do I take that pain? How do I take those hiccups? Well, I take coffee, right? But connect to the moment is what I'm try to appreciate the magic in the moment, right? Very important. So engage in mindfulness, but embrace change. Like I said, the only thing consistent in our lives are the changes that we experience. Understand that our journey may evolve. I hope that it does. If it doesn't evolve, then that's based on, free will and choice. If you're, I always say that your growth frightens people who have no plan on changing. Let me say that again. Your growth may frighten people who have no plan on changing. There's many people I know, friends and family, that just blinders are on, and that's okay. No judgment. That's their choice. That's their free will, but they're not willing to change. I am not like that. I am willing to grow and change and transform. And how do I do that? Experiencing all the tips that I'm telling you and sharing with you today about how to take your pain and move it to purpose, right? But the only way that you're going to do that is to actually free will and choice. And like I said, make the choice, take a chance, see the changes that you want to see in your life. Sometimes people are put in our paths that show us what not evolving looks like. And I'm sure there's a few people that you could, from your high school days or from your family that just, and that's fine. But, Eckhart Tolle was talking about this on Wednesday when we were watching his lecture. And he was talking about one guy, he said, he talked about failure and how we grow through failure. And I think it was one of his family members, and then one of his family members, maybe his nephew, said, "Well, I've never failed." And he's like, "Well, what job have you worked?" And he goes, "Well, I've worked the same job for 25 years. So some people choose that path because they won't have to fail, right? And I hope that you not choose that path. I hope you choose the path less traveled, right? Because it's through that you're going to know more about who you truly are and what your purpose and your passions are for this life, this time around, right? So embrace change because it's the only thing that's going to be consistent every single day of your life. Understand that you may evolve. You're going to have ups and downs, but stay open to the new passions. Stay open to the new people. Stay open to the new soul adventures that will arise through this journey if you choose to. And it's going to help you heal. It's going to help you transform. It's going to educate you in ways that you don't even need a degree. You're going to have the degree of life, and it's going to show you so many things. This world is a beautiful place. If you've never traveled, go travel. You'll learn a lot about yourself. You'll learn a lot about other people. But embrace that change is what I'm saying, because it's the only thing consistent. 2 more to go, and then we'll get into some readings. Celebrate small wins. Today, I'm celebrating a small win. This last year has been just torture from my physical to my career change to my early medical retirement. I got a small win on Wednesday, so I was very happy about that. I won't share the details, but it was a small win, and so I put that in as part of my tips, is to celebrate those small wins. So because what you're doing is you're not only now acknowledging your pain, you're acknowledging your progress, right? You're acknowledging your progress, no matter how small that may be. Turtle versus the rabbit. This isn't a sprint, y'all. This is a marathon. So be the turtle, right? And celebrate your small wins, because it shows it doesn't matter how fast you're going. Going is still progress nonetheless, right? So keep going, keep growing, keep transforming, and celebrate small wins along the way. Celebrating achievements can enhance our motivation. It can enhance and reinforce our sense of purpose, and it can give us passion to even go deeper into the purpose that you may be seeking as a prospector, to find not only the diamond within, but the diamonds that are all around us, seen and unseen. Okay. So stay committed. The last point here is stay committed. Turning pain into passion is a journey. Again, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's, again, enjoy the journey, not the destination. And like I said earlier, wherever you go, there you are, right? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I took this journey over 2 decades ago, and I'm still learning. I'm still a babe. I'm still growing. I'm still understanding. I'm still, realizing there's just a lot to life that I just don't know. So stay committed. Turning pain into passion is a journey, not a destination. Stay committed to your growth, to your healing. Be patient. Trust the process. Give yourself grace along the way. And, when you actively engage in the practices and the tips that I'm sharing with you today, and again, this article will be out later this month, and I don't know if it'll be in my next newsletter. And again, I'm so behind on my newsletter. Last newsletter I wrote was in November, and then I had quite the change. So I'm going to help. If you want to get my newsletter, you can get it right here at marclainhart.com. It's called Soul Adventures, and I'm going to hopefully get that out in the next week or so. But if you can actively engage in these tips or these practices that I'm sharing with you, you can really begin to heal and ascend and transform and change your alchemy of who you are and your thoughts, and change that pain that you are feeling physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or materially. And you can turn that into a meaningful passion and in purpose that really can enrich your life, but I found the lives of others. And so I want to send you what I call a glimmer. A glimmer is glimpses are they're glimpses of the opposite of triggers. And I've done past shows of don't deny your triggers, right? The triggers of life that trigger you to have that pain, right? So glimmers are the opposite of triggers. They are moments in your day when you feel that peace, that tranquility, that joy, or even gratitude. So let's train our minds to recognize these little glimmers that we can get, because we're really good at, the ego is really good at pointing out the triggers that set us off, reaction, right? So now incorporate into your mantras, your journey, or your spiritual toolbox, the glimmers that can help give you that, just even if it's just a sense of peace. Animals are really good at getting into that. When you have, I've got the best cat, O'Malley Moose, who every day makes me smile, and I move into that glimmer. When he's sitting on my chest and he wants a kitty car wash, or he needs a kitty mantra, and I'm petting his chin and he's just looking at me with love and purring, those are glimmers. Those are things where you can feel that joy, that tranquility, that love, that gratitude, right? And recognize these glimmers so each day you can appreciate all the little things that are in life, right? Because again, I know life is very crazy, and it's going to get crazier, y'all. I just posted, I had, I have a lot of dreams. And as a seer, I talk about the burdens, the blessings, and the balance of being a seer and things. And I just feel within the next 72 hours, there's going to be a big event that's going to unfold. I can't change that. But what I can do is I can bring that into my awareness, share it, and let it, unfold as it's going to unfold, right? So, but try to move into those glimmers if you can, because they are very, very helpful. So I want to say thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm going to get into some readings now. Let me get over back. I lost my page here. Appreciate all of you hanging out with me. I hope that this helps and you can find a way to take your pain and move it into purpose that gives you a deeper sense of passion, and really just takes you on this profound journey if you're willing to do that. If you're not sure where to start, come visit me at marclainhart.com. We can do a reading. We can do a Q&A. Get on my subscribers list. Patreon Prospectors or Diamonds Hub, because at the first Friday of every month, I have Diamonds Days where you can actually come in and ask me questions through the Zoom platform. Those links are on the subscribers pages if you're interested. Would love to connect with you. And I just hope that, that you start to take your pain and move it to purpose is what I'm really hoping for you. So good morning, Donna. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. Christine Thomas, good morning to you. Victoria. Okay, so, all right, so we're going to get into the reading section here now, and how this works. Hi, Joseph. How this works is just real quick recap. I'm going to just put on some music real quick because I just need to clear my mind real quick so I can get into the space of helping you. My readings are based off of a couple different ways. First is I'll put the Zoom link, so I got to get the Zoom link. If you want to come in and have a conversation with me, love for you to do that. So let me get the invite link. We'll go over to Facebook Live and look for my avatar. And again, good morning to my moderators. If you're on, thank you for moderating and keeping the comments clean and keeping this, positive. Let's see here. I got to get into the show base. Hold on. Un momento, por favor. And we're Mercury retrograde, so my technology is not moving fast today. Just FYI. All right, so let's mute that. Wait for the comments to come up. So how this works is I'm looking for my followers. You have a badge next to your name. If you're a subscriber, Diamond subscriber, you're going to have a badge. I'm going to see that. If you are a Patreon prospector, I'll know it. If you are following the page, you'll usually have a badge next to your name. That's what I'm looking for when I start working with people. That's usually who I'll go first to in the queue. And then if I get to you eventually, that just you work your way up into the queue by following the page, subscribing to the page, becoming a subscriber. How it's going to work is I'll put my book away. You can get my book again at my website, Reflections Through Best American Psyche. You can turn it upside down. It looks the same. Isn't that cool? So I'll put my book away because I have cards here to my right. I've got books to my right as well that are off camera, you can't see. And you can ask me a question. It could be color, it could be what's going on in your life from a psychic standpoint. If it ends up being you want to connect to somebody on the other side, that's called mediumship. And that means that I'm connecting to somebody that's lived a life. So not somebody that's an angel or an ascended master or your spirit guide. I believe in that, but that's not what I connect to. But in order for this to work on a mediumship level, you have to come into the Zoom room because I need your voice. I need the yes, I need the no's, I need the I'm not sure. So I'll put a little avatar of me with hearts. Zoom link is out there now. If I did it right, hopefully. If my administrators or moderators could grab that, it says it's posting and there's some hearts I'm throwing up. That's just, or you can come in and have a conversation, it's fine. But for mediumship, that's how it works. Now, I always put that caveat. I work for the spirit world. I work for the people that are there, your friends, your family, and your fur babies. They don't work for me. So I can't guarantee that we're going to actually have a good session, but it's something that I'm always willing to put myself out there to do. Because that's part of failure, right? First attempt at learning. But I've done a lot. I do services. I do online services. I am a member of the SNU, which is right there. And I've been working on these modalities for many, many years with mentors, workshops, classes, weekly, daily education. So that's how this works for the readings. Or if you have a question, you can put it in the comment section, and I'm going to start to scroll down, and I'll call your name out. And if I call your name out, the way that I know that you're interacting with me on the show live is I'm going to ask you to type in stop based off. I'm going to ask you what card deck you want, 1 through 14. There's 14 decks today. You're going to tell me what number you want, and then you're going to tell me when to stop because I'm going to shuffle on my side. That's working at the quantum level, the digital aspect. If we were working, in person, I'd be doing it right here in front of you, and we'd be working energetically that way. So cards, you can ask for a book reading. You can ask for a live Zoom, come in the meeting room if you want. But let's do some music here real quick. I'm just gonna get some, let me just get just real quick. I'm just gonna play some music and then just give me 1 minute and I will be right back. So, un momento, por favor. How's that? So that is called Cosmic Disco Fever by Adam Griffin. All my music is always copyright, trademark free, royalty free, and I always try to promote these artists who are trying to make a living. This is all meta approved music that I have. The openings one was called, real quick, Work It Out by G's, G-E-Z, and that's the name of the group, G's. Work It Out was the opening song, and then that quick break was Cosmic Disco Fever by Adam Griffith. Again, like I love to promote people, especially struggling artists trying to make a buck. So, okay. I apologize. I did not bring my phone again. I always forget my phone. I think I'd have this down by now, but we're either going to do through comments here on the platform, or the Zoom link is out there if you want to come in. I'll put you in the waiting room. If I'm mid-sentence with somebody, just be patient. We'll bring you in. Just make sure if you do come into the meeting room, the waiting room, that you turn your volume down or turn the volume down on the show so we don't get any kind of reverberation or feedback, because it's hard for me to work if I'm hearing myself. All right, y'all ready? Let's do a little prospecting. Let's go find those diamonds within. All right. So first up is going to be Adriana. You can tell if you see her name, she has a little badge next to it. She wants her color card for the week, so we can definitely do that. So Adriana, you know the drill. Take a deep breath. Hi, Rita. Kathleen, you're on deck, so get ready. She says reader's choice, please. So I'll pick a card for you here in a second. But Adriana, go ahead and take that breath in. Set intentions. We're working now at the quantum digital level. When you hear the word stop, type it out, please. And I'll move down to the bottoms. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Lori. All right, stop. Thank you, my dear. So you can kind of see how this works. So this is for Adriana, the Emerald card. Claim your mind, body, and soul. The number 3 energy from a numerology standpoint is all about creative, expressive energy. So today's topic should be hitting you pretty good about taking your pain and moving into purpose, and connecting through the power of the emerald, the color of the green, the heart chakra color, which is right here, and calm your body, your mind, and your soul. One of the best ways that I found to instantly calm all three, the breath. Right? So use that color of green and calm your mind, body, and soul, and get into some creative, expressive energy for yourself. All right, Adriana, I appreciate you. Thanks for being here on Friday, Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Live. Hi, Tina. All right, next up is, let me scroll back up. Okay, so you kind of get the idea how this works now. So we got Adriana a color card. And again, if I miss your comment, I'll get back to you at the end. We have a bump feature where you put a star bump and then your question again if I do miss you, because sometimes I won't see all the comments real time, and I apologize. And I didn't bring my phone, so I'm not going to give my number out. Otherwise, I give my business line and you can call me too. All right, so Adriana. All right, Kathleen, are you still online? You want reader's choice, please? I'm going to go with my atomic deck, the atoms that I talked about that you can't see. So Kathleen, if you're still on, this is how I know that you're still interacting with me. Take a deep breath. When you hear the word stop in your mind, type it out, hit enter, and that's the card that we will pick for you. You're welcome, Adriana. Good to see you, my friend. All right, Melissa, I see your message too. So hi, Kelly, I see you too. So be patient, I'll get to you. So again, Kathleen, you're up, reader's choice. If I know that you're still interacting, give you about 30 seconds to make that connection. Make that stop comment. If I don't see the stop comment, then I go on to the next person on the queue. Kathleen. Hi, Barbara. Miss Elwood, how are you? All right, Kathleen, still waiting. Got about 15 more seconds, my friend. If I don't see the word stop, then I move on. You miss your opportunity. You strike out. Then the next person that's on deck is on deck. Okay, Kathleen must have moved on. Okay, no worries, that happens. All right, so next up is, let's see here. Victoria would love a animal spirit card. I can do that for you. Animal spirit card. All right, Victoria, on deck is Carlos. So Carlos, you're on deck. Victoria, you're up. Take a nice deep breath. When you hear the word stop in your mind, Victoria, say it out loud, and we'll talk about that spirit card, and then I'll tell you who's on deck, who's coming up next. So This is how, so you got about 30 seconds to make the connection. If not, then I move on to the next person. Carlos, you're on deck, and I'll get a card deck for you. I'll probably just use my Atom deck, so it's right here. Stop. All right, thank you, my friend. Here's your card. All right, so you can all see how it's worked. So we've moved on. Kathleen, if you're back, you missed your opportunity. So you have to hit me next week. Victoria, this is for you, my friend. You can see she's got a badge next to her name. Hi, Aman. So this is called the Work Together card. This is the house mouse, the house mouse, the house mouse. Okay, maybe you don't like mice, that's okay. But the Work Together card, this is a card that I'm not too familiar with, so bear with me, just so I can get the, I can give you my sense, but I want to just see if I'm on the right track here. House mouse, house mouse. All right, and then Carlos, you're on deck, so we'll get you a card reading here as well. Let's see here. Where are you? Where's your quick reference? The card is talking about working together. So obviously there's something that you're going to have to work on together with somebody, or that you've had a falling out of some sort. House mouse. Okay, so it's talking about slipping between cracks and scurrying behind walls like mice do. We notice her by her destruction she leaves behind: chewed wires, ruined books, food made inedible to us by her munching. Mouse churns through paper and destroys in hours what it took years to create. That's because mouse rarely goes it alone. She has help. Mouse breeds prolifically. Where there is one, there are sure to be more. And once you have not mouse, but mice, it's mind-boggling what havoc these small creatures can wreak. Yeah. Work together, mouse advises you. Don't have to be big to be mighty. You don't have to be big to be mighty. So it's about working with others, Victoria, working with others. And again, that's true. The house mouse, you get, they breed pretty good, right? We've got pretty big rats here in West Seattle. I've seen a couple of them. We've been to New York, I'm sure. The biggest rat I ever saw was in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. They're called banana rats. And I'm not kidding you. He was under a bridge and he was about this big and he just hissed at us. But what they can do is they can destroy things that are small in a matter of minutes. It took things that took years to create. So, you don't have to be big to be mighty is what the message is for you, and work together, if you will. So does that make sense, Victoria? Victoria, does that make sense? All right, so Carlos, may I get a card any? And Laura, you're on deck. And then Melissa, and then Kelly, and then Joanna, sorry, Joanna. Oh, Kathleen, sorry, I was dropped from Wi-Fi. Okay, so Kathleen, I'll give you got 10 seconds to respond. So I got your deck still. So Carlos, bear with me. Tell me, type in stop, Kathleen, and I'll give you that message if you're still on. Sorry that your Wi-Fi dropped. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Kathleen, hello. Looking for the word stop. Kathleen. All right, my friend. All right. Victoria says, nice. Thank you so much. Yes, family has been the theme of the year, and we're working through big changes moving across. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Kathleen, we missed you again. Sorry. But let's go to Carlos. Carlos, got your deck here. Carlos, you're up. Carlos, are you still on? Go ahead and type in, when you hear the word stop in your mind, type it out loud, and we'll talk about that card. This is for Carlos Alvarez, my amigo down in Mexico. Let me get that at the bottom. All right, so Carlos is on deck. Again, the Zoom room's open if you want to come in. Stop. Thank you, Carlos. Again, working on the digital aspect. I know that you're still on, connecting. So the card I pulled for you this morning is the Harmony card. So the Harmony, this has got a color green, which is matters of the heart. So it's whatever's going on with you, Carlos. It's about being in harmony with your surroundings. Being at harmony, for me, I think the big one for you is the relationships coming up. There's a lack of harmony within the relationship. I don't know if this is love relationships or colleague relationships, but it just seems like the relationships needs to have a little bit more harmony. A lot of times, Carlos, what happens is we have to move into that harmony. We have to be the bigger person, right? When there's a saying here in the United States, when they go low, we go high. You have to move in. Sometimes that's not easy to do. I get that, but it will help you move your energy into that harmonic space versus, tit for tat or action reaction or the ego or I'm going to get them or karma. Move into a sense of a higher purpose of your harmony, and it will bring you more peace, is what I'm trying to tell you, Carlos. So, all right. So that was for Carlos. Next up is Lori. Are you still on, Lori? Will I move from this town and find happiness? I'm so lost since my daughter passed. All right, Lori, are you still on? If you can just tell me you're still on, say yes, I'm still on. You're welcome, Carlos. Want to make sure that people are still on. Stop. Okay. I didn't pick a card for you, Lori, because I want to address what you're saying in your words, because your thoughts became your words when you typed them out. And you said, I moved from this town. I think it was will, not well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Will you move from this town and find happiness? You don't need to move from a town to find happiness, right? The first thing starts with you find happiness within. If you're trying to find happiness in a town, you're looking to the material world to find happiness. And trust me, my friend, happiness will not come from the material world. The world is a vampire. It will take. You have to find something in your current setting that's going to bring you joy and happiness. And if that's not possible, then yes, it's time to leave this town and find a new energy, find a new location. Energy locations, you've known it. You've gone to different towns or different parts of the world, and you just feel like you really resonate. Then you go to other parts of the world or different towns, and you're like, I do not resonate. There's a town that I grew up in this town, I just don't resonate with it. It's not for me. There's too much pain there, right? It's a reminder. So yes, you can leave the town. I don't see any time within the next few weeks of leaving this town. But for me, it was more like you don't need to find happiness based on the town. The happiness comes on your choices and your thought process, and your focus determines your reality. So that's what I would say. And again, you're lost because you're not honoring your grief. Your daughter has passed on, and my deepest condolences. Honestly, I understand the suffering and the torture. I think one of the hardest things is for a parent to bury a child. I get that. I've seen it. I've been a part of it, right? But what you have to do is you have to change your mindset. Your focus determines your reality. And once you realize the ego is saying that your daughter's gone, the soul of her is not gone. She is right there. She is only ever a thought away. She's not in the physical that we want, right? But she can show you that love and that connection if you know where to look for it, and you look for it within. And then what happens is the material world will send us the signs, the symbols, the synergy of who you are and the synergy of what's all around you. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. That synergy, and again, the synchronicities may come from a lookalike, something that looks like your daughter, a song, a poem, a book, something in a movie reference. The list goes on and on. Pennies from heaven. Take that breath. Practice the pause. Ask her to give you a message. But most importantly, my friend, you have to start honoring your grief. Because don't do what I did for 20 years of survivor's guilt and not honor your grief. It only just takes you down a deeper rabbit hole of destruction and despair and darkness and negativity. And I know you don't want that. But I know that your daughter is very close. She's only a thought away. Ask, believe, take a divine breath in, receive, and perceive based on how she's going to connect to you. And I promise you, it may not happen right now. It may not be real time. Us as humans want real time, but she will make herself known to you within the next 72 hours if you just take the time to disconnect so you can connect to something bigger than yourself. And again, the town has nothing to do with your happiness. The lack of happiness is you're not honoring your grief, and you're missing your daughter, which I get, but she's not gone. Death is not the end. She's very much alive, and she's closer to you now in death than she ever was in life. Think about that. So does that make sense, Lori? Man, Melissa saying, blessings, Mama, I feel lost too without my son. Yeah. Hi, Jerry. Yes. Okay. Again, happiness is not an external. The world is not going to bring you happiness. It can bring you temporary happiness, I guess, if you have a lot of money, you don't have any worries in the world. But at the end of the day, happiness comes from within and what you choose to look for. So one day at a time, Lori, deep breaths, watch your thoughts. Your focus determines your reality. All right, my friend. And thanks for your question. All right, so next up, Let me see here. Okay, so got to go back up. Sorry. All right, so yeah, lots of questions. You guys are awesome. All right, so Lori said hi, Michelle, Melissa, Tina, hi, Kelly, Melissa, all of it. Thanks for being a follower. Love a message. Trying to make sense out of nonsense. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that's life, right? Trying to make sense out of nonsense. Would love a message. So Melissa, you're on deck. Kelly Labine, you're on deck. So right now I'm going to connect with Melissa. If you're still on, Melissa, you'd love a message. That's very general. Ask a general question, get a general answer, right? So Melissa, I'm going to have you ask either to choose a deck, a book reading, or just a more direct question that I can answer. And then Kelly, if you're still on, you're on deck, followed by Joanna. So Joanna, I'm still seeing you. All right. So, okay. Hi, Dana. All right, let me catch up on your comments. Yes, I think I need to move on from my daughter's death. You don't move on, Lori, just coming back. Grief never moves on. Grief doesn't have a calendar, doesn't have, you're going to take that and you're going to build around it and you're going to take that grief and that loss with you. It's all about how you take it with you. Is it a heavy backpack or is it just a bag full of love and joy and memories that you can connect to, right? So the grief, my brother's been gone in the spirit world for over 20 years, and that grief never leaves you. You learn how to rebuild yourself around that grief as part of your experience. Doesn't matter where I move, I'm missing my daughter. I'll miss her in any town. You're absolutely right. Yeah, but she's not in any town. She's right here. She's right here. And you birthed her, you know, you can connect with her right here at the solar plexus where you carried her for 9 months, right? So, all right. So you're welcome, Melissa. All right. So on deck, Melissa, does that make sense? Was that the message you were looking for based on the loss of your son? Again, my deepest condolences and holding space for you. If that makes sense, let me know. And then Kelly, what card would you like? 1 through 14. Kelly Labine, you're up. And then Joanna. So Kelly, I'm gonna start writing you all down. Kelly, followed by Joanna. So Kelly, what deck would you like, my friend? Okay. Hi, Jessica. Dana, hello to you. Melissa says, should I focus on my healing work and include mediumship or 3? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hey, you get the crystal deck. All right, Kelly. Same thing. When you hear the word stop, type it in. We'll pull that card. So you need a crystal for today, obviously. So crystals are great amplifiers. So when you hear the word stop, go ahead and type that in the comments and hit enter, and we'll get that card for you. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Jess. Miss you, my friend. All right, Kelly, got the third deck for you. Type in stop. Remember, you only have about a 30-second window before I move on to the next reading. That way I know that you're interacting still. Kelly Labine. Stop. Thank you, my friend. All right. And then Melissa, I'll come back to you just a second. All right. So this is called Hittite. Hittite. I don't know. Are you familiar with this stone? It's all about claiming your happy place. And everybody, this doesn't have to just be for Kelly. You can claim this stone as well because it's about claiming your happy place. What it is, it's an aura that emanates warm and fuzziness. It taps into the stone's frequency and you feel the buzz. You must have a big heart to use it. So where to put it? It's easily aimed at the heart. So put it next to the heart, next to your bed. It's who needs it? Future trippers and bad romantics. When to use it? When you find yourself stuck in the past or too focused on the future. Hydonite is down to make the most of every moment. If you're in a rut, call on Hydonite to help you love the way out of it. So this must be a present moment stone. I think this would be good for everybody because it's about claiming your happy place is the stone. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Hydonite. Somebody will correct me, I'm sure. But yeah, I haven't had this stone before, but it's about claiming your happy place and it's a stone to help you bring you in the present moment. For you, Kelly. Does that make sense? So again, you can go to a gem store. I don't recommend buying them online. I always, when it comes to stones, and trust me, I'm a rock hound. I got tons of stones around. Here's one. Here's another. off camera, you can't even see. I got a big stone from Australia that's ancient. But what I always recommend when it comes to crystals, go to a metaphysical store or a crystal store. Go to that topic that I just gave you, this hiddenite, Kelly, and then pick the stone. But sometimes the stone picks you based on its vibration, based on its frequency. So it's important. If you order online, you don't get that connection, that touch. So that's what I would recommend for you, Kelly. All right. You're welcome. Hi, Travis. Good to see you, my friend. Okay, so Melissa, let me come back to you, and then Joanna. So if you all would not, if you wouldn't mind, we're getting a lot of comments, and so I'm having to scroll up and down. Joanna, can you just type in a comment what you want? Do you want a card read? Do you want to come to the Zoom room? Do you want a book read? And just type that out down below, and then I don't have to. Then I don't have to go all the way back up. And then I'm going to address Melissa's comments, and I think that's the last one I had for questions. If you have a question, go ahead and post it in. All right, so Melissa, should I focus on my healing work and include mediumship? I think you already, I don't think I need to answer that for you. I think, Melissa, you already know the answer to that. Okay, card reading, Joanna, thank you. Go ahead and give me what deck you want, 1 through 14, please. Going back to Melissa, you already know the answer to that. It's very important because if you don't work on yourself, if you don't do the work of the soul, if you don't do the healing work, you're not going to progress. You're not going to ascend. You're not going to grow. You're not going to evolve. And so it's very important that you do that. As far as mediumship, take that slowly. Work on your healing first. Mediumship, when I got into mediumship, I never thought in a million years I'd ever get into mediumship. Trust me, this is not what I thought my life would be. And when I started to study abroad, and when I started to study here, and I've studied with some of the best, some of the greats, and some have moved on into the spirit world. But what I didn't understand about the path of mediumship, I thought it was all about giving readings, when really mediumship is about your own healing. So mediumship can be an aspect of your own healing, but you got to remember you're representing those on the other side. So you want to make sure before you step into that modality and go down that path that you're in the right place mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and listen to the calling of the spirit world, because not everybody is a medium. You know, you always hear, you know, there are people that are great psychics, great intuitives, great seers, but they don't have that connection per se to the spirit world to have that mediumship, because you're speaking on behalf of others that are coming through the thought process of clairvoyance or clairsentience or claircognizance. Some people have the ability to see them objectively. I don't. I see them subjectively within the thoughts that comes through. So mediumship, I would sit with that for a while and see it, because there, with that path comes a lot of ridicule, competition, ego, spiritual narcissism. I've seen it all. And really, I would focus more on you and your healing, and then see if that allows organically to open up, and if the spirit world makes themselves known. Because again, they made themselves known to me. I didn't say that I wanted to be a medium. My brother's deaths, my father-in-law's death transformed my brain frequencies to receive, and all of a sudden I'm like, why am I receiving this? I don't want to do this, because I knew what came with that: judgment, opinions, loss of family, loss of friends, based on, you know, when you step into mediumship, a lot of people will call you crazy because you no longer fit within the community conditioning of what mediumship truly is. And so be patient with yourself and work on your healing first, is what I would say for you. Okay, does that make sense, Melissa? Does that make sense? All right. So just go ahead and put in the comment section. Again, Zoom room's open. The link is out there. Go up, scroll up if you want to come in the Zoom room and have a live conversation. Happy to do that with you. Joanna, card 1, deck 1. Deck 1. Oh, okay. So numerology deck. Numerology deck. So based on numbers. I love numerology because who's the only species that measures their life on time and numbers? Humans, right? Numerology is about 11,000, 12,000 years old. It's tied to Pythagorean. It's the cousin of music, mathematics. The universal language is mathematics, not Italian, Spanish, French, English. So Joanna, when you hear the word stop, go ahead and type that in, hit enter, and that's a card that we'll pull for you. Working at the quantum level, working at the digital level, just like you're here in the studio with me. This is for Joanna, deck 1, numerology. Give you about 30 seconds. Joanna, thank you. Okay. Change. Number 5. Let's talk about this. This change, this color represents, I equate this color to metamorphosis. This is the caterpillar, which the caterpillar, as it starts to go through its metamorphosis, this turquoise color, the caterpillar goes into this complete metamorphosis. It deliquifies, goes through the cocoon phase, and what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, as a butterfly emerges through the struggle, because it's a struggle that sharpens its wings, it allows it to fly. It's the butterfly that says, no, this ain't the end of the world. This is a whole new world. It's like the diamond. If you want to reveal the diamond within, you got to dig deep. You got to do the work. You got to prospect, have the right attitude, right equipment, right dedication. And when you reveal that diamond, it's a beautiful thing. It's got a lot of glimmer and a lot of shine, and it's compressed under extreme pressures. That's what a diamond is. But the alternative is you don't want it to be a diamond and it just remains in the dark and it's just a piece of coal, deep, very deep in the darkness, right? But it's the same thing of caterpillar to butterfly. So for you, my friend, there's some change coming up this week through Mercury retrograde. The number 5 from a numerology standpoint refers to freedom, love, and adventure. So this change actually feels like a good change to me, a much needed change for you, Joanna. But you have to be able to embrace and open that through free will and choice, not just what some guy on Facebook tells you. You have to incorporate that mindfulness that I talked about earlier in the show, that awareness, that present moment attitude, that acceptance, the 3 C's in life: make a choice, take a chance, see the change, don't risk it, no biscuit. That's how change works for you. But if you do the power of 5 and pay attention to number 5, freedom, love, adventure, all great stuff if that's what you want. Yeah, doing the inner child work. It's not fun, right? Because we all have that inner child that goes back to, where we feel safe, or those triggers of a childhood. So when you do that inner child work, you're going to see change as well, my friend. Hi, Katie. All right. Melissa says, yes, they're coming to me and it makes sense to be stronger to the ridicule. Yeah, if they're coming to you, allow them, also what I would say to them, Melissa, allow them to work with you on a healing, because mediumship is a healing triangle between the spirit world, between you and the people that seek you out, your sitters, right? So it's a triangle. It's called the sitter's triangle because it's all about healing. So if they're coming to you, tell them, set your intentions, right? Set what you want. I want to heal, but maybe I need to work with somebody that needs healing as well. Maybe they've lost a child, right? And they may come to you. You'll resonate deeper because of your own experiences. You're very welcome, Joanna. All right. Any other questions? So been on for a little bit. If you want to catch my YouTube show, it's over right now, airing on my YouTube channel, Soul Adventures. Again, thank you for putting us well over almost 21,000 subscribers or spiritual prospectors over on my YouTube channel. You can catch another show over there. If you want, you can follow me on Instagram. Here, subscribe to the Intuitive Prospector page, Subscribers Hub of Diamonds Hub, which is my subscribers or Patreon prospectors. I'm going to be doing more, y'all, now that I'm semi-retired. That was my small win this week financially. So I'll be doing more this fall as we get into September. Experience the etheric, some more live platform readings, some events, some workshops. I will be at the Conscious Wellness Expo here in Kent in October. I'll be back at my booth. I wasn't here this spring. You can get all the details at marclainhart.com. Just go to either the subscribers online store or events coming up, and you can get everything, next podcast, latest article. So I appreciate you hanging out with me. Let's see. Katie says, late but made it. I need my Marc lift. I like that. Thank you, Katie. Thanks for making me smile. Yeah, what would you like, my friend? How can I lift you up? You lift me up. Is that Josh Groban? Lift me up. What can I do for you? Hi, is it Jenna Packer? Hello to you. Melissa says, wow, yes, there are messages all about healing for people. I'm around. Me too. Thank you, Marc. You're welcome, Melissa. Just take your time, one day at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. Especially when it comes to mediumship. Mediumship is a lifelong process. Like I said, I did my first reading in 2009, 2008, and I was at 30,000 feet sitting next to a lady in an airplane. I did my very first reading, had no intention. I'm like, who is this person? Would you understand the name Dawn? Would you understand a father for you? I don't even know how it began, but that journey of 2009, and again, there's still so much to learn. We are just babes, but give yourself time. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with that single step, as you say. Nothing just like hearing your good vibes. Well, thank you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the community, y'all. Hi, Cody Brown. Good to see you. We're here on Fridays. I try to do my best if I'm not traveling or committed to something else. But I try to be here on Fridays for the Metaphysical Meetup. 10 a.m. live, and then my YouTube channel at noon Pacific Standard Time then airs a different episode. So if you want to catch that or catch a message, today's message was all about how do we take our pain and move it into purpose. That article will be out later. My newsletter will also be out. So if you want to connect with me, you know where to go. You can just type the intuitive prospector, the concept of my business, and that will also get us in touch if that is the calling, if that's the prospecting you're looking to do to find the diamond within and to find the many diamonds all around. Hello, Kurt. Good to see you, my friend. Any other questions? We're last call. Last call. If I missed anybody, this is the point where I've worked with you. Thank you to my administrators, my moderators for keeping the comments, keeping the spam out, keeping the clickbait out, keeping the trolls and the bots out. I really appreciate you keeping the community positive and upbeat and uplifting. Or as Katie said, getting the good vibes. That's what we want to try to do. What'd you say? I need my Mark lift. So, but it takes a team to do this, y'all. I can't do this by myself, and so I appreciate all of you. So last call. This how this works. If I somehow missed you, don't take it personally. Sometimes I don't see all the comments, especially when I'm going back and forth, or the algorithms of Facebook doesn't allow me to see it in real time. So this is at the point. If I missed you, go ahead and put bump with a star, so we know that we missed your question. Or click on the Zoom link and come in. I'm going to keep the Zoom link open for just a few more minutes here. And then type your question again, and I'll get to your question. It could be a card read. It could be an intuitive question. It could be a psychic question. It could be you want me to pull a book reference. Anything to help you with your journey of what you're prospecting for today and in the seeds you want to plant today for the future you want tomorrow, right? So if it's mediumship, you have to come to Zoom room. There's no way around that. Mediumship has to be done within the live Zoom room because I need your voice. Yes, no, I don't know, or I don't remember. Those are the four things that I work with when it comes to live readings. And then again, I'll probably be doing a nighttime session called the Experience Etheric to help teach people how to experience a lot of what I've gone through, not just from a mediumship standpoint, but from an intuitive standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, from a psychic standpoint, and also from a healing standpoint. It's about experiencing the etheric, the spiritual ABCs, if you will, of awareness, awakening, balancing, breathing, connections, consciousness, all of the things that I incorporate in my teachings, either in the public or with my students, those spiritual ABCs. And again, if you want to come visit our tribe, we have a very closed group tribe, amazing students all around the country, Canada and the UK. On Wednesdays via Zoom, if you're interested, send me an email. You can click on the diamond at marclainhart.com on the main page, and that'll generate an email if you're curious, if you want a visitor's pass. I'm going to open up a seat for this quarter and the next quarter if you're interested in journeying and prospecting and learning more about spirituality. So, all right, sounds good, Melissa. All the good vibes here. You're welcome. I appreciate it too. And again, this is an example of me taking my pain, turning it into purpose, and doing it with passion. Right? That's what this whole journey is all about. So I hope you enjoyed today's tips, and I will see you next time. I don't see any other messages coming through, so I will call it there. Let me pick a good song to take us home with. Let's see here. That's Longing Pop. Sounds like Confucius or Satisfaction. So I've got all sorts of, let's go to hip hop. I've got all sorts of meta music that I can use that's royalty free. So sometimes I just click around. Goat, Pomp and Circumstance. Get it? The Journey. How you want to? Let's do The Journey featuring Toby Jones. The name of the group is called Company Money. I don't know what it sounds like, but we'll give it a go. It's called The Journey, and I guess we're all on a journey. So enjoy your journey. Enjoy not the destination, but enjoy the journey. Hi, Rhonda. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for dropping in the community today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Friday, a blessed weekend. Again, find ways to take your pain and turn it into purpose. And until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. And most importantly, whatever you're going through or wherever you're at in the world, stop, practice a pause, take a breath, find an attitude for gratitude, because there are many things to be grateful for. And most importantly, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and discover the diamond within. And we'll see you next time here on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Live. All right, everybody, take care. Namaste.
I've seen a lot of hot stuff, but nothing beats the journey. Not even the money. Bless my mind, I fell in love with all the art. I made my world's a part of my journey. You can't take it from me. My life, I'm in the driver's seat. Nobody can take my spot. Keep pushing, don't ever quit. Been dreaming right from the start. I get to write it. It's my movie, I'm the one who decides it. Those nights when I have no light in the crib, young king still visualize it. Every day I choose who I want to be. Sometimes we break the rules cause we all got to be free. Got to protect it. It's my movie, I'm the one who directs it. Setbacks, I gasoline for my jetpack. Bounce back every time, it's exciting. Been around the world, I've seen a lot of hot stuff, but nothing is the journey. Not even the money. Bless my mind, I fell in love with all the art. I made my world's a part of my journey. You can't take it from me. I'm in the driver's seat. Ay, automatic, yeah. Push through the madness to the magic, yeah. I don't really have no tactics. I just believe that the universe planned it. Keep it yin and yang, that's the way things go. Up and down just to watch me flow. Anywhere me go, them I let me know. It's a freaking sold out show. Every day I choose who I want to be. Sometimes we break the rules cause we all got to be free. Got to protect it. It's my movie, I'm the one who directs it. Setbacks, I gasoline for my jetpack. Bounce back every time, it's exciting. Been around the world, I've seen a lot of hot stuff, but nothing beats the journey. Not even the money. Bless my mind, I fell in love with all the art. I made my world's a part of my journey. You can't take it from me.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the intuitive prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream. Dare to explore. Dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.
Yeah.